Hello everyone and welcome to Unit 4. Unit 4 is our last unit of ENGL 200 and this unit is going to be 2 weeks long. So our Unit 4 paper is called the Performance Review, and the Performance Review is basically a reflection of your performance in expository writing 2. And the due date for your Unit 4 paper is going to be Friday, November 20th, 11:59 p.m. as usual. So the Unit 4 paper is a relatively short assignment, and therefore it's only 2 weeks long, and we have about a week and a half's worth of prep work, so drafting activities and brainstorming, as well as peer review workshop. And then those last few days after peer review workshop, you have time to further review your essay, and then you turn in a final draft for Unit 4. For the Unit 4 essay, you do not get to do a revision. So please remember that when drafting your essay, as you do not have revisions for Unit 4. So when looking for guidelines for the Unit 4 essay, please refer to the overview of reflective writing. This is the first tab you will see under week 13, under the Unit 4 module. So if we go to the assignment guidelines, it tells us a bit about the Unit 4 assignment. So the assignment asks you all to reflect on your progress this semester as a writer and a student. Your performance review demonstrates to a specific audience how you have met, surpassed, or even struggled with certain objectives within the course, such as the objectives of essays specifically or objectives of the course as a whole. So you could refer to the syllabus for this, for example, objectives of the course. You want to ensure that you identify and develop a main point referring to yourself. So referring to how you have either met, surpassed, or struggled within the course, your performance in the course. So a main thesis about yourself. How do you want to characterize your progress as a writer to your readers? So keep in mind that the focus should be on you and your engagement with the course. So this essay should not be an evaluation of the instructor or the course. Some students do tend to view this performance review rather than an evaluation of their own work and their own performance, an evaluation of the course itself. I will tell you that essays that are an evaluation of the course itself and or the instructor usually receive R grades. So if you are worried that that is what you are doing or you are intending to do that, please contact me and I am happy to review your paper with you. But please keep that in mind to differentiate those when you are writing your essay. So the writing process, how would you write a performance review? What does it look like? So one of these, as I mentioned before, what you could first do is take a look at the course objectives in the syllabus. Reflect on your progress in this course. And here are some questions that will help you start thinking about how to do so. What course objectives have you met? Have you not met them? Are you still struggling to work on them? Might they help you in the future? Will they help you with future employment? Another thing with a performance review, and it mentions this in the intro to the overview of this draft, is that you can consider shaping this review with a reader in mind. So you might consider using this performance review for an application or an internship in the future. So it says down here, you could shape your reflection of your exposed writing experience into an application letter for an internship or scholarship opportunity. So depending on who the audience is for this, you might consider shaping it towards that and shaping your writing, what you're writing about in this performance review, the direction of your thesis, and what you're reflecting upon into an application. What objectives have you struggled with? Did you have any preconceptions about the class before, and did these change after the course? What have you learned about yourself as a writer, as a researcher, as a scholar? Since you all have now engaged with scholarly materials and engaged in the conversation, enter the conversation, if we remember that terminology from Unit 2 and Unit 3, you are all now scholarly writers. So how do you view your own perspective about that now? How has your view changed? What are some topics you found interesting in the course, etc.? It's just some questions to get you thinking about what you might consider writing about in your paper. So again, back to audience. Choose an audience that you would think would be interested in what you have to say about your experience in this course. Explicitly state your audience somewhere in your assignment. To whom are you writing to in this essay? Are you writing to me? Am I your reader, your instructor? And that's perfectly acceptable. Many students write directed toward their instructor. Some students write towards a future employer or another teacher that they might have learned from, or an internship opportunity. Make sure you have a main point that connects to you as a writer and a student. So again, what we've been working on this entire semester in our first 3 papers, make sure you have a clear, explicit thesis. Use specific examples from your own work. So descriptions of what you wrote in your assignments, brief direct quotations, as well as information from the class materials. So don't, in your body paragraphs, because you do want to use body paragraphs, so topic sentences, examples, explanations. So those 3 X structures, correct? Don't be vague. Be specific in what you did this semester. I've read all your work. I know what each of you are referring to. So be as specific as possible. If you're worried you are too specific, you can ask me about that, but it's always better to be specific and explicit over being too vague and indirect for your readers, especially if the reader is not me, the instructor. And then again, always, always, always explain the examples you are including. Explanation is necessary to developing your ideas. And then here are the main objectives of the performance review. Evaluate your progress as a writer and a student in the course. Synthesize information into a coherent, informative performance review. Identify an audience that would have an interest in your performance review. Communicate effectively to that audience, and demonstrate an understanding of the writing strategies and content we have covered in the past 3 units and now the 4th unit. And then the rationale. So what is the purpose of this performance review? How is it going to benefit you in your future work? A performance review, as it says down here, is similar to self-evaluations or yearly reviews, which you often perform in future employment opportunities and jobs. I perform them often myself within my work as a graduate student. I also perform them as an undergrad or in various internships I took and in various jobs I had. So you will perform similar activities and essays to this writing opportunity in future employment opportunities. So I definitely encourage you to try your best on this essay, not only because it is part of your grade, but because you will be implementing similar writing styles in your future employment experiences. And then as far as activities for the following 2 weeks, you do have 4 minor assignments due. These are going to be due Wednesday, Friday, and then you will have one due Monday, as well as your peer review workshop. And I'll send those dates on in an email. But I will briefly review those with you. So one of them is a reflection activity, and this is very brief. But what I want you to do here is download the following chart, and I just want you to reflect on the past 3 units now that you're coming up to a performance review. So this is to help you start thinking about what might you discuss from these past 3 units. What went well in your writing? What did you struggle with? What did you learn? So you're going to fill out the following chart. So you're going to copy and paste it or download it into a separate document, and then you're going to upload it. The next activity is a free writing and reflection claim. There's two parts to this. So the first part is choosing 3 of the following course objectives below. For each of these, you are going to free write a paragraph and make connections back to your course participation, some activities you performed for these related to these course objectives within any of the 3 units, related to your assignments and major papers, your either student-student or student-teacher interactions, and your instructor feedback, possibly on your minor assignments or your major essays. So these are 3 brief paragraphs, but in order to receive full credit, the writing must be substantial and demonstrate effort. And then the second part of this activity is once you have created your 3 free write brief paragraphs, so brief, I want you to develop a tentative thesis claim. So again, in your performance review, you are including a thesis claim. I want you here to try to think of one you might want to include similarly within your performance review based on your free write. And here's some examples below. And then you also have a brief discussion board activity. So now that you have performed the free write, I want you to share your ideas with your classmates. What are you thinking about writing on based on your class experience? Who do you think your audience might be? What might your thesis be? And then please respond to a classmate if you have an idea to share with them or to further develop each other's ideas. And then here, this is an assignment in which you will evaluate student examples. So in this assignment, I want you to make at least 3 observations about the student examples and the differences between these student examples. So as you'll see below, this first example is in the format of an application letter. So he's directing it to a specific audience. His intended audience is a possible future employer. It's pretty long, at least comparatively to the second example in which the audience is the XPOS teacher. So that would be me. And this is a relatively short one. I will say, so both audiences are great. However, I will say as far as length, this second one is relatively short, and I would say it is actually too short as far as development. It does need more development. It does need more concrete examples. So that might be one thing you mention in the discussion and further develop upon. So this is just an example, at least comparatively when you're looking at these and thinking about writing your own performance review, please develop. Please include development and concrete examples and explanation. And here on this discussion, it also includes a general idea of what my rubric is for grading the performance review. So if we look in the A-ish category, and these are, again, what you see on your papers, the charts, the categories which I grade by: purpose, development, organization, style, tone, editing, and accuracy. So if we look at the 3 main portions, purpose engages a specific audience and meets the performance review reflection goals. It clearly focuses on the student as a writer and has a clear thesis claim. For development, it provides specifics. It refers to your specific classroom experiences or interactions with the teacher, etc. And it explains how these specific experiences pertain to the objectives of the class. So you definitely want to refer to some objectives in your performance review. At least one, refer to at least one objective in your performance review of the class. And I will emphasize that in an email as well. Organization. So you use forecasting statements. So we've been working on topic sentences, thesis. Think of your thesis as a roadmap. How are you going to indicate to the writer, to your chosen audience, what you were talking about in your performance review? And then style and tone, you use active language, it's engaging, it's confident, and it's fairly neutral. So a neutral tone, as we've been discussing. And that is it for your performance review. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, but I will be sending out email updates as we near the end of our work for this semester.